Hello. I worked today and then I came here with I got a thing of coffee. I'm good to go. I was up at 5 this morning and I worked till 3-ish. So I came home, took a shower, ate my lunch that I didn't finish, grabbed a coffee, and here I am. So praise God. We are in John chapter 12. We just did Solomon's speech in 2nd Chronicles chapter 6. Quite an amazing speech there. This is a very important chapter here in John chapter 12. I mean, they're all important, but, you know, it's a big chapter too. I wanted to share something before I start, though. Something that I discovered whilst watching Star Trek. I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to share it before I start reading John chapter 12. There's an old episode of Star Trek, you know, back when it was good. And there was an episode called The Day of the Dove. And I was just fascinated by it because I couldn't believe what Kirk said. I couldn't believe what the episode was about. It was pretty much about how Satan manipulates everybody. Because in the end, as long as they decided not to kill each other, it's basically the Klingons and the red shirts, and they decided not to kill each other, then the demons went away, you know? They didn't give in to the hate and the anger and Klingon tendency of Klingons just have to kill everything, you know? But in the episode, I had to write this down, that Kirk, this is in the future, mind you, Kirk says, "Go to the devil," to the Klingon captain. And I just found that amazing, because probably in the 80s you would have phrases like "go to hell," you know, or, you know, people don't even use that phrase anymore. That's like tame. You know, sorry if I'm offending you by saying that. But that was like a normal cultural phrase for a while there. But think of where the show is taking place. It's taking place in the future with a positive outlook on humanity, which is unrealistic, but it's hopeful anyway. And Kirk actually says, "Go to the devil," instead of "go to hell." You know, I'm used to hearing "go to hell. I'm not complying with you." That kind of phraseology. I'm used to that in most movies. And if you watch movies today, it's so much worse. It's like, "Go to F this, F you, F that, F F." You know, and I can't take it. I can't take most movies today. It's too horrible. But it's amazing how our speech has changed, and how the speech is really a reflection on how bad it's getting and everything. And it's also a reflection on the quality of the Star Trek. You know how much F word is used in new Star Trek? There should never, ever, ever, the F word should not exist in the future. You shouldn't have it. It shouldn't, nobody should say it, even if you were some Nausicaan mercenary, you know, it's like, "Domjot human." You know, even if you were like the crudest, most rough Klingon person, nobody would even use the F word in the future. It wouldn't exist. You know, they would be too advanced. They'd be too smart. Be like, "Well, brigand, what trespass hath you begotten?" Something like that. You know, instead of it's absurd. The writing and the thinking of the directors and everything, and the presentation of new Star Trek. That type of speech shouldn't be there. And this old episode really illustrated that. And Kirk says, "Go to the devil." Really, that's interesting. I just found that so interesting. Okay, I'll stop talking. We are in chapter 12 of the Gospel of John. I think I'm just going to read the whole chapter, and then maybe the next video we'll look at a few notes. Oh my God. Chapter 13 is so good. See, I say that about every chapter here. Okay, so let's read chapter 12 of John. Sorry to get you off on the wrong foot. I just found that interesting. So sad where our speech has gone today. If we just went back to the Bible, our speech would be elevated tenfold. You know, we wouldn't say any of that nasty stuff. You know. And it's just so sad when I have a coworker, just the nicest, sweetest young person, and just think about how that dialogue, you know, it's the same way. It's just F this, F that, and it's so sad. I mean, I'm not saying anything derogatory about her. That's a failure of the culture around her. Such a downgrade, you know. She's so much better than that. Okay. Chapter 12 of John, verse 1. Then Jesus, 6 days before the Passover, came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, which had been dead, whom he raised from the dead. There they made him a supper, and Martha served, but Lazarus was one of them that sat at the table with him. Then took Mary a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the odor of the ointment. Then saith one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, which should betray him, Why was not this ointment sold for 300 pence, and given to the poor? This he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief, and had the bag, and bare what was put therein. Then said Jesus, Let her alone, against the day of my burying hath she kept this. For the poor always ye have with you, but me ye have not always. Much people of the Jews therefore knew that he was there, and they came not for Jesus' sake only, but that they might see Lazarus also, whom he had raised from the dead. But the chief priests consulted that they might put Lazarus also to death, because that by reason of him many of the Jews went away and believed on Jesus. On the next day much people that were come to the feast, when they heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem, took branches of palm trees, and went forth to meet him, and cried, Hosanna! Blessed is the King of Israel that cometh in the name of the Lord. And Jesus, when he had found a young ass, sat thereon, as it is written, Fear not, daughter of Sion, behold, thy king cometh sitting on an ass's colt. These things understood not his disciples at the first, but when Jesus was glorified, then remembered they that these things were written of him, and that they had done these things unto him. The people therefore that was with him, when he called Lazarus out of his grave, and raised him from the dead, bear record. For this cause the people also met him, for that they heard that he had done this miracle. The Pharisees therefore said among themselves, Perceive ye how ye prevail nothing? Behold, the world is gone after him. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. The same came therefore to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. Philip cometh and telleth Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip tell Jesus. And Jesus answered them, saying, The hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. Now is my soul troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this cause came I unto this hour. Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven, saying, I have both glorified it, and will glorify it again. The people therefore that stood by and heard it said that it thundered. Others said, An angel spake to him. Jesus answered and said, This voice came not because of me, but for your sakes. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. This he said, signifying what death he should die. The people answered him, We have heard out of the law that Christ abideth forever. And how sayest thou, the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man? Then Jesus said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. These things spake Jesus, and departed, and did hide himself from them. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. That the saying of Esaias the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spake, Lord, who hath believed our report, and to whom hath the arm of the Lord been revealed? Therefore they could not believe, because that Esaias said again, He hath blinded their eyes, and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. These things said Esaias, when he saw his glory, and spake of him. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him, but because of the Pharisees they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue, for they loved the praise of men more than the praise of God. Jesus cried and said, He that believeth on me believeth not on me, but on him that sent me. And he that seeth me seeth him that sent me. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. He that rejected me and receiveth not my words hath one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me. He gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak.